welcome back to New Day right here on TV3. Time for our lifestyle segment, of course brought to you by the world's #1 tea brand, Lipton Tea. Now if I was to say to you SMH, DM, BRB, would you know what I'm talking about? Well, that's because you're not cool enough. No, I'm just joking. Well, that is a shorthand term where a lot of young people, even older people, are using when it comes to social media language or texting. So SMH is shaking my head. BRB is be right back. What else? So LOL, of course, is laughing out loud. There's so many of these in their handwriting, especially in exams and so forth. Well, this is a new phenomenon. We have a little story. Take a look, and then we'll be... Okay, well, I'll BRB. Take a look.
Communication, no doubt, can be described as one of the most integral parts of our everyday lives. The invention of social media has even made it much easier and better. With over 1.8 billion social media users worldwide, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, WhatsApp, Skype, BBMs, and the like help us constantly stay in touch with family and friends. It also affords us the opportunity to create one's own style of writing, provided the recipient understands. Call it chat speak or social media lingo, where shorthand is the order of the day, where you can speak volumes with just a smiley or an emoticon, where words are written just the way they sound, and we can freely blend letters with symbols. Here, there's no grammar police to check the use of punctuations, capitalization, and subject-verb agreement. This style of writing is the in thing for the youth and some adults as well. Some think it is faster and more fun.
You spend more time in constructing a simple message. You see, so you would rather prefer to use less words so that you can quickly send the message.
It's become the order of the day. Everybody is doing it. So if you don't do it, it means that you're not part of what is happening.
Others, however, think it is sheer laziness and a tad silly.
Well, generally, I think quite a number of people hide behind the shorthand and try to get on with bad spellings, I would say. A few people actually can't get the right spelling, even if they had to. It kind of gets on my nerves when I see it.
I sometimes ignore it. I don't read it because it doesn't make sense actually.
Many also wonder, if this new form of writing is really supposed to be time-saving, then why replace a word like OK with KK or is with is, when in fact they have the same number of letters? This social media glossary often creeps into academic writing. Slang terms and shorthand writing have become a common sight on students' assignments. Their works are pregnant with misspellings, incorrect grammar, and disrespect for the use of punctuations and capitalization. It is also predominant in the universities.
For me, it affects students' grades because I'm teaching news reporting and writing, and an important component of that is how students handle the mechanics of language. And therefore, if a student does not know that you cannot do a newspaper article spelling in the way you spell when you're using text messaging, then that student has to be penalized so that they learn to do it the right way. Because if they go into the industry is not going to tolerate a newspaper article, a magazine article. Indeed, in other organizations, your bank manager or your head of department is not going to tolerate you writing a letter using short text messaging style.
This form of writing is even finding its way into business communication. We often forget that in the world of business and professional writing, the figure 4 does not mean 4 and 2 does not mean 2. As a money and time-saving expedient, it is not surprising that these shortcuts have come into being, but they have no business in serious conversation. There are so many business heads who will throw away anything that arrives on their desks using shorthand, and that includes job applications.
Once I see shorthand in a cover letter, it says a lot about the person. It says that this person doesn't pay attention to detail. It might just say that this person is probably not serious. Because I think that once you know that it's official it's formal, this is a formal letter, you should take your time and make sure that what is going into it is appropriate. The language, the style. And so to find shorthand in a formal letter simply suggests that you're just not serious. That it will cost you your job, probably not, but it just gives somebody else an edge over you. Because if you put two letters side by side and one is written officially, everything else is appropriate, and you have one next to it that has shorthand, I mean, that goes without saying.
However, these mistakes are not intentional.
As you keep doing that kind of shorthand, you become used to it. So that even if you are writing a formal letter or writing document, you forget to, and then you bring it in.
Some youth maintain the social media is not ruining their language. They insist that they can effectively juggle both, depending on the situation.
I use shorthand when I'm writing my notes. Maybe like a master is dictating in class and you want to make it short. I think that is best for you to do it. For my exams, I write it fully.
Now let's see how many of you can actually figure out the real meanings of these shorthand words. How many of you got it right? Well, if you love using shorthand as much as I do, just be careful it doesn't crawl into your official writing. Make sure you read over your work copiously before submitting to your teacher or your boss.
Okay, welcome back. Should I shorthand it? I don't know. Okay, well, this is it. As you see, I'm sure a lot of people were lost. Even I was lost at that last one. And this is me thinking I'm cool. Sandra, are you cool enough to know everything that it was saying there?
No, but I think a lot of these shorthands is just based on stupidity. I mean, the whole point, as people tell us, is to, kind of be able to type faster and kind of shorten words and all of that. But if the word that you're going to shorten is the same number of characters as the original one, what's the point?
Okay,
KK 2, and then you do KK or is.
That one I don't understand.
You replace the S with a Z. That is just stupidity. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I can understand when you go to Twitter and things like that where you're limited by the number of characters, 140.
40 characters. 140.
So if you want to shorten a few words, that's fine. But even then, you can do it with a lot of...
With
I don't know.
I don't know. But I do feel sorry for school teachers. Okay, I get a lot of messages from usually young people on my social media. And there's times when I literally read like 4 lines and I don't understand what they're saying. Because it will be like, ease and yay. And I'm like, what are you... I can usually make out certain words. And I actually remember one time picking up one of my nieces, this was a couple of years ago, her phone. And the messages her and her friends were having, I did not understand. So I'm like, and because obviously they're Ghanaian too, so they created their own sort of pidgin forms of language and some tree, and I was like, yo, this is a whole different language.
You would be lost. I think it corrupts our grammar, it ruins our language, and it's really not necessary. Why can't we just type and spell as it is? I mean, come on.
But some of them I also think is quite ingenious, like GR8
for great. Yeah. And then there you are in the exam hall, and then like you're pressed for time, and your mind is in overdrive, and you're nervous, and then you're writing, and then you want to write great, and you go and write GR8.
That is bad.
No examiner will forgive you for
that.
that.
Well, if you write that, then you deserve to be.
That is the danger, because you get used to it, and then you forget yourself, and you take this. That's the way you're used to writing now or typing.
But you should know when to switch. Okay, well, I'm going to go over to Benny, because I know Benny's standing by with some messages. So, Benny, how are you? Let's hear what you've got.
My view on this is I think social media has been the breakdown of politeness and basic manners. But in regards to the language itself, it has desecrated the language of English. But here are some messages that we've got from the general public. Bugri S. Sumaili says, shorthand is a form of entertainment when used to chat with friends, but very discouraging when using them for official purposes. Therefore, we should take note. Good point there. We've also got another one here from Nikote Kwe. He says, we have a standard shorthand writings which are used officially, normally by secretaries and journalists. What we are dealing with here is the individual's way of communicating to others in a simpler and faster form. These shorthand form individuals have gradually affected the society such that everyone is using it in communicating thereby. Good point. Also, another message from Nanaya Nkata says, it is destroying our writing skills. It has become difficult to spell certain words. Very true. Let's move down to Twitter and see what we have here. And Francis Owusu says, it helps write faster, but sometimes I don't get the meaning of some of the shorthand. Very true. Half of it I don't get. Chris AJ says, it's gradually destroying us. And Adia David says, it only helps the WhatsApp and the Facebook users to type sentences in short. Right, and those are the messages that we've got in regards to shorthand. In general, I believe that, you know, if it doesn't take you too long to write the full word, then maybe you should. I mean, it gives a good impression after all.
True that. All right, thank you very much for those messages, Benny. Yeah, I think the most part of it is, I actually remember at university, my lecturer said, if you dare write anything shorthand or any sort of, he called it street language, you'll be in trouble. So it's something that actually disciplined me, because at university we had to be careful not to write colloquial language. So it's something I'm very used to. So even if I do the KK and all that, when you have to know the right time, you have to know when to
switch. But with the young people, you see, it all boils down to people, and some people are not too smart. Let's not forget. I mean, with the young people, they get confused, and you know, pressure in examination. We've all been there. You know how it is. You forget yourself, and you think you're writing, and you end up writing shorthand.
And if you do, you can fail.
You will fail. You will fail, especially if you have a very not too understanding examiner. You will definitely fail. So instead of making or taking that risk, why not just, you know, write correct English, write the right language, and then
write the right language. But also, I think a lot of people who have developed this shorthand speak, especially amongst the young people, is almost like their own language, where their parent can pick up their phone and not understand anything. So parents should get smart, get on the internet and learn these.
Yeah, as long as you're able to switch back and forth, then I guess it's not so bad. But if you know that you can't, or better yet, just stick to the good old way. I mean, before the advent of all this short text messaging and short texting and all of that, we wrote correct English,
and we wrote letters. People used to write letters.
We were fine. Yes. So please, let's get back to the good old days of writing correct English.
Good stuff.
Or I'm WDYT.
Excuse me?
What do you think? IDC.
IDC, which is I don't know. IDC, I don't care.
I don't care.
IDC,
I don't know.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Well, no, but I think, especially I think with the parents, you have to. Now, one of my favorites, I don't know why, is FYI. It's FYI. Does anybody know what FYI is?
For your information.
I want to test Benny. Benny, what's ROFL?
Rolling on the floor laughing.
Okay.
Pass an exam.
I know that one.
Okay. LMAO.
Nothing like something else.
Which I usually do.
I'm going to give you a very difficult one, because there's
which one? Mediaform Sirkwakwa. MDFK.
Wow. That's a I think if anybody actually sent me that one, I'll send you a message back saying you are blocked.
Okay. Here's one for you. 143.
I love you.
Yeah, I know that one from a long time.
I just learned that too. We're red, yellow, green, but it's really orange, yellow, green. And we're the black stars.
Oh,